But as far as I'm concerned, as it were, it is not as if whatever is happening now is one-sided. It affects one side, it affects the other. Just as some parties will suffer, the other one will gain. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that we need to study the Electoral Act as a politician to be able to know how you guard your votes and get the best on the day of poll and in the judiciary at the end of the day. Because the judges are not wishes. They cannot tell on what they have not seen. They only adjudicate on what is on their table, that is before them. And somebody cannot come as witness who was not even at the polling booth to say so thing happened at that polling booth. They will tell you that one is an hearsay witness, which cannot be subject to probable what have you. But the truth of the matter is that they adjudicate on what is before them. So whoever is coming with his grievance in terms of petition that is brought before them must be able to state it clearly and prove it within the period. But one thing that is important now is that how do we make it that all election petition will have been cleared before assumption of office by those is one thing that I think is not too clear. Because when you now elect a governor, he's been in there for about 3-4 months, and they say no, he did not win. Then you now bring in somebody else, and that is why we have up-cycle elections now. And to a great extent, it does not make things work the way we want it to work.
You have been a legislator before. Yeah. It is these legislators, your counterpart, who must take that bold decision. The way you see them, the way you see their body language, the Nigerian legislator, are they ready to change things, accept things that will favor them?
Yes, the issue now is of so many perspectives. The process of legislation is either coming from the executive to the legislature. Yeah. The legislature sits on it, call in people from outside to see what we want to really bring as law for you. We expect that so many bodies like MBA, civil service, society organizations, right, they should come with their own perspective of what they think should be in the legislation. But the truth of the matter is that the greed of some people,
of many,
the greed of many people who are there and benefiting from the present situation may be heavier than the general populace. I'm not saying that is what the situation is.
But it looks like.
Whatever is the situation, at the end of the day, a legislator will only legislate upon the bill that was brought to them. And when they work on it, it is being sent to the executive for assent. And if the executive feels strongly about the bill and does not agree to it, he has the power of veto. You know, that kind of is not the legislature that has everything. But the legislator represents the people. When those things come, they still invite the people to come and see what they have done. And at the end of the day, send to the this thing. But if the people want the electoral college system, and more than anything else, let me tell you, the solution to Nigerian problem today is restructuring.
Yes, I was going to come to that.
Because, I mean, the issue now is that whatever suits us in the West, we don't suit them in the North.
I was going to come, and I will still come to you, but I want you to take this one in tandem. The APC has been around for only, in this dispensation, it was around for 8 years. It is now 6 months old. The thinking in many circles is that, particularly in the opposition, that the APC is gunning towards one party.
Well, it depends on the whims and caprices of the people generally. My own take is that, like I said the other time, one party's loss is another party's gain. What I'm saying in effect is that what has the PDP, for example, done in their first 16 years that brought about the takeover by the APC? Yes, the APC has done 12 years, and there are a lot of, 8 years.
Yes.
They have done 8 years, and we have a lot of criticism, no doubt. But the baton has changed. And whatever it is, things are really looking one way or the other, because this administration is set to correct the ills of the past, both of the 16 years maladministration and the 8 years that have not, that we think is not in too much in the right direction. And that's why the man came up with that slogan, renewed hope. And remember, it is telling us that he's working on the footpath of MQ Abiola, who came with Hope 93. But that hope was dashed. And with him now coming under the renewed hope, that hope we had in 1993 is going to be renewed in this dispensation. So that's what we have.
Okay, let me now come back to the issue you raised, restructuring.
Yeah.
When the likes of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu were in opposition, they were clamoring for restructuring. Today, he has been in governance for 6 months. Hardly do Nigerians hear about restructuring.
Yes. He came in through a process. And the process through which he came in is on, and he has to do some corrective measures. If that is not done, and people are not at ease with themselves, restructuring now for him will be meaningless. And he cannot even talk of restructuring unless he comes up as an executive bill, even to the legislature, to do that. But how many things does he want to do at a time? Yes, people who are abusing him. Subsidy is gone.
Yeah.
And we are still battling with the issue of subsidy. He cannot come up with the issue of restructuring immediately now. But we can see that along the line, a lot of things has gotten some shape. We know where he's going, and we know that he's not afraid to do and delve into those areas. People were gaining from what he is talking about. And he said, when you fight corruption, corruption will definitely fight back. We are seeing the fight back now. And that is why we are here where we are. You see, the margin of the foreign exchange this thing is also a problem, because people were getting so much from this foreign exchange through round trip. Yeah. If I get I get at the official rate. I don't even have, I will just ask them to come and take. And they'll bring my money. I'll put it in the bank. And without lifting a finger, I'm making millions and trillions of naira. And the people out there are suffering. A lot of these things need to be corrected, and you need that brave. You need to be brave to do all those kind of things, because people. These people will fight you back, and they are fighting back, and that's why they say by the time they make it pinch on Nigerians, Nigerians will rise. But the truth of the matter is that reality is getting to dawn on the people. How we will have a refinery that is not yet operating, and somebody is telling us that 70% of the money gotten from central bank has been repaid? Where did he get it?
Interesting. Nigeria is a very interesting country. Yes, I want to draw you closer home, not exactly here, but to Ondo State. In the last 3 or 4 months, it's been Ondo State was getting ungovernable. Thank God the president has waded in. But politicians, all of you, why don't you learn lessons? I'm asking this question because we had a similar thing in 2010 or thereabout. Yaradua. He couldn't come back to govern. Everybody suspected. We didn't know, but we suspected that all was not well. Eventually, death.
Even before he was elected.
Now, it had to demand the National Assembly to go by what we call
Doctrine of necessity.
Doctrine of necessity. Why are we not learning? Why do you politicians don't learn?
Well, the Ondo state problem is a little bit different from that of Yaradua.
How?
From the way I see it. Even ever before Akeredolu became ill, there had been a problem between him and his deputy.
Every tenure, he has a problem with his deputy. He's a friend, personal friend, but must it be so that every tenure? We were
in Ife together, so I know him very well. And the truth of the matter is that the people in government and even the party in the state, they have been polarized along the two axes. And even when Akeredolu was not even sick as to really take a leave to go for medical attention, the House had been clamoring for the impeachment of the deputy. Because they are looking at Akeredolu's health from the perspective of if this man should go, which they are not praying that he should go, they automatically, without anything, the governorship will come to the deputy. Perhaps some of them, I don't know much on. They may not want it. I mean, those that are on the side of Akeredolu are not thinking in terms of that. But those with the deputy governor too are working hard to ensure that he comes to governance. And well, like I say, an average politician is very, very selfish. They are thinking of themselves and putting the general interest of the people at stake. It's not the best. But I think, I wouldn't say I don't know much how the president was able to resolve it, but I was still listening this morning and I can see that some of them in Ondo State are not too happy about the way...
The PDP is not happy?
Well, I mean, the PDP may not be happy.
They are citizens of Ondo State.
I know, the PDP, when they come to government, they can do that. The PDP may not be happy, but if it suits the politicians in the APC extractions in that place,
who are governing,
because there is no way it will come to PDP, even if they choose Ayedatiwa, unless they are already in tandem with Ayedatiwa on whatever issue. And perhaps this could even be the reason why they don't even want Ayedatiwa to become the acting governor.
Yeah, I don't know, Director, do we still have some time? I'll fire a question before we go. Oh, yes, the question has to do, earlier when I went, I said I was coming closer home. This time I'm home properly. Our constitution flaunts the federal character policy very much. But in the center, something is happening that is not encouraging enough. Osun State, among some other states, have not had any 7 justices of the Supreme Court for some time. Lagos has 1. Lagos has always since 2013 had 2. Is this fair? And Vivo, who left. And Vivo has left, and Lagos is still agitating for someone they call giving the priority tag.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is the essence of having the Federal Character Commission. And by the act setting up the Federal Character Commission, any appointment, any employment in the Federal Civil Service must be screened by the Federal Character Commission. I don't know what they are doing. As far as I'm concerned, that question will be laid on the doorstep of the Federal Character Commission. Because there is no reason, it's not as if we don't have judges qualified enough to be in that place.
In fact, on the appeal court, on a court of appeal hierarchy list, an Osun man, Justice Jimmy Bada, is number 2.
Oyewale is also there.
Yeah.
So,
and there are 3 from Osun. One is number 2, Awotoye from Ora is number 15.
So I know, I know those. But the truth of the matter is that since those ones, anybody in the appeal court is also capable of moving to the Supreme Court.
But this is a judiciary that flaunts seniority, first class.
Well, seniority or not, the truth of the matter is that the federal character had actually thrown aboard seniority in certain cases. Don't you see even the appointment of service chiefs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which organization flaunts seniority more than anything? It's not the army and the police. But the moment it comes to the fact that a junior one is taken up, they retire the remaining ones.
Yeah. But in the judiciary, they don't retire them.
I know. But what I'm saying is that there is supposed to not to be any scapegoat if you are not paying lip service to federal character in the appointment of any officer in this country. Then it's better we just do away with the federal character issue.
Yeah,
I'm not supporting a situation whereby Oshun will not have his proper face at the Supreme Court.
2013, we were supposed to. 10 years later, we are supposed to.
So I don't support that.
Justice Vada and Co are on reserve bench. They are Abirus of this world, who is number 22 on this appeal hierarchy. Mm. Well, we are not justices. We are not into the legal field, but we think whatever is good for
the goose,
yes,
it's also good for the gander.
That's about a convenient spot at which we will punctuate the show. We will be back. I have been speaking in a very, very lively. I have been having a lively conversation with Honorable ADEOYE ADELAKUN, former parliamentarian, a politician, a financial expert, and a publisher. In the next sitting segment, we will veer into some aspect of economy. Don't go anywhere yet.
Born Jeremiah Oyeni Obafemi on March 6, 1909, Obafemi Awolowo was a prime architect of Nigeria's independence and most consummate advocate of free education and social welfare in Africa's most populous nation. Erudite politician, thinker and philosopher, Awo was fondly addressed by associates and political colleagues, brought his unique attributes to bear on governance in the defunct Western region. He administered as leader of government business and the premier between 1955 and 1958. Obafemi Awolowo's premiership witnessed pioneering in multi-sectoral policy initiatives and execution. The Western region under his administration paraded several enviable records. First television station in Africa, first real estate in Nigeria, first high-rise building in Nigeria, first modern sports stadium in Nigeria, first agricultural settlement in Nigeria, first modern civil service secretariat in Nigeria, and first industrial estate in Nigeria. His face is on 100 Naira denomination as a mark of honor for his distinguished services to his country. Western Spring Television identifies Obafemi Awolowo as a major character in history. James Ajibolaige was a lawyer who obtained his first degree in classics from Nigeria's premier University of Ibadan. Born September 13, 1930, the orator and the polyglot spoke impeccable English, French, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba languages. His fine diction placed him among classical orators and public speakers like Cicero, the Roman orator. This attribute earned him the prefix Cicero of Esauke. He authored Kaduna Boy, an autobiography, Detainee's Diary, Constitution, and the People, among 6 other books. Bolaige was a colorful politician, elected governor of Oyo State in 1979 and appointed a federal minister in 1999. He was a pioneer founder of Afenifere, the Yoruba social, cultural, and political group. He invested his political sagacity to propel the group to the height of political leadership and decision-making in the southwest of Nigeria. Bola Ige was assassinated on the 23rd December 2001. His murderers are yet to be apprehended till today. Western Spring Television identifies Bola Ige as a watershed character in history.
Welcome back to the program Pertinent Questions. And my guest has been a former lawmaker, politician in his own right, financial expert, and a publisher, Honorable ADEOYE ADELAKUN. We have spoken, we have discussed in conversational manner some of the challenges. We are looking at 6 months of the Tinubu administration. The last 6 months, how well has the Nigerian fared? And this second half, I'm beginning with the economy. Nigerians are poorer than they were even 1 year ago. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, definitely. It is taken from the Yoruba parlance that I want to say now. Títàrí roland kọlà tó bá san tán tó máa dín tó bá jiná tán tó bá san tán náà ni á dín kan oge. You see, like I said earlier on, we have been running away from the kind of treatment we should use to really knock ourselves back to the right part of the economy. But each time there is a reaction, we tend to chicken out of the way. As a matter of fact, many economists and many people have always said that the subsidy has to go. And we have gotten to a point that we are even using our own reserves for subsidy. When we were borrowing to even finance subsidy. How far can we go with that? And the bold step must be taken, and it's not going to be easy with people because the petrol is one of the vital issues that cut across all our economic fabrics.
It's the lubricant of the economy.
And the moment the cost is is up, then things come really down. But the issue now is that we believe that it's going to be for some time. They have told us that, and let us watch how long it's going to take for us to begin to have reprieve. If the reprieve doesn't come, then it bounces back on the authority. And that's the very big risk he has decided to take. Because you don't want to be president for just a term. You want to run and run and run. Even if you're not running again, make sure that your people are coming around. So if that risk is really worth taking, that it could even put his name on gold in the nation's political firmament, then he has agreed to take it. But while I believe that the things are very difficult, I buy fuel from the state. When I was traveling over the weekend, I still bought fuel for 630. But it has to really come like that. I used to fill my car, but I can't afford to fill now. I will just buy enough to take me to where I am going. And if I get that I need some more, I get it. And if as long as I'm getting it, then I don't think I am. But in times when things were cheap, for what is good, I could buy full tank and use it to anyhow. I know how to really move around. Now, I monitor my movement. I don't go anyhow, anywhere. Like I know I'm coming here today. I've not been out my house. So the first, I'm coming here, I'm coming straight. So regulation has come into our lives. Right. And even those things that you do, that is in excess of what you should not do, you keep it out. So as far as I'm concerned, I believe that Tinubu will not take a risk that will not be able to. And as far as I'm concerned, the truth of the matter is that it's going to be better.
We hope so, even though the palliatives have not yet come yet. But we are still, this is 6 months, and that's where some people get worried. People who even believe in what the government is doing. Bring us the palliative, but that's not the issue. The
palliative, it's relative. You know, the federal government will not do a thing directly. Yeah. It has to go through states. We have seen some states. They are giving out the palliative the best way they think suits their people. Yeah. Some states are not getting it. I don't know why. Like Ogun State now, they have come out with CNG buses, which they launched, I think, 2 days ago. And that is to take people at a reduced fare. And we are learning a great lesson these days. Okay, I had my birthday in Ibadan that time. My cousin that lives in Abeokuta has a car, but she knew she was coming for that. I'm talking about Biola, you know her. Yeah. She was coming for that birthday party. He left her car in Abeokuta, bought the train service to come to Ibadan. Yeah. And
everything has become Obegbegri.
Yes. Irony. Yeah. So she came and we were there, and the next morning she left at the time the train was supposed to go back. So these are the issues. You need to plan, and he who does not plan has planned to fail.
Yeah. Let's look at this Dr. Yemi Cardoso. He wants to likely go the way Oludo went. Talking to deposit money banks that, hey guys, your financial base must be up. Okay. How do you react to this? You are a financial expert.
Yes. A money deposit bank that has no strong financial base, the deposit money will get lost. And it will now have more serious impact on the economy than what it's trying to really guide. If the finances of your bank will not be able to support, because they are trading with your money, you are willingly supplying them your money for them to trade with. And if by anybody's carelessness within their management, they lose your money, and you come back when you want to get your money and you are not able to get it, how will you feel? And that is why we need people to intervene in the activities of the various banks, such that, okay, at the time Society Bank General Bank failed, who are the people that suffer the loss? It is the people.
Depositors.
The depositors. The people who own that bank today are still smiling to their whatever they were. It's their own gain. So I'm saying, in order for that, Yemi Cardoso wanting to take a route, it was because Oludo was doing the right thing. They drove him away, and now
legislators drove him away.
Yes, I'm now saying that's what I'm saying. If we now have somebody who accommodates, somebody who wants to bring financial discipline into the system, why not?
Good. Time is running against us. Does the Tinubu presidency suggest to you in any way that it will fight corruption?
I think it will.
We have not seen any step.
You see, fighting corruption does not mean clamping people into jail. The first area of fighting corruption is to block the loopholes. If the loopholes are blocked, then you come back to begin to catch those who you think owes you money. Now that Emefiele, did anybody ever know that Emefiele was swallowing money? Yeah. Now that he's jumping from one court to the other, how many have we seen? We are now talking about trillions. Himself and Tunde Lemon.
Of all people.
So What I'm saying, in fact, is that you don't need to really now come out with guns or going to do sting operations in people's houses or what have you to be able to fight corruption. Do it by blocking the loopholes. Let people know that if you do it this way, you will not get this. Not going to be the answer. So the best that we need to do now is to get a system which forbids you from robbing the state of its hard earned money.
Has the president been very, very fair in his appointment?
I don't know what you mean by being fair.
No, time was when it was one-sided. Even now that everybody sees it, people are still complaining. The Nigerian in us doesn't allow us to...
All the appointments that have been made so far goes through all the states. That's the first thing. But you give appointment to people you know that will give you the kind of what do you call it? The kind of result you expect. And if I go to give a mechanic the job of what are the? If I give a mechanic the job of a tailor,
you have lost.
Yeah. So do I want to now say because that tailor must come from a part of the country? So the truth of the matter is that let us give a job to he who knows how to use the instrument, such that at the end of the day, he will not mismanage whatever has been given to him. So as far as I'm concerned, I would say to a greater extent that let's give him that opportunity to put the people that he thinks can do it right in the place.
One last question, if time will permit us. It's been 6 months. Would you say, yes, one question. Would you say the president has led by example?
I don't know how to mean. Example?
Yes. Does he listen to public opinion, etc., etc.?
Definitely. I think he has been doing that. And that is why you see that some of the appointments he made need to change even before confirmation.
Yeah.
If he was not listening, he will tell you that I have appointed him and I have appointed him. And if you are not satisfied, so be it. But if it comes that he realizes that something has happened that needs to be done, he corrects immediately. Otherwise, we'll still have those problems that we used to have that, okay, let him be there since I've announced his name. That's all right.
Well, time is not on our side, and so I would like us to drop the curtains. Yeah, one typical example of the president having listened to public opinion is this: what he did last week, stopping the universities from paying 40%.
40%, yes.
I think that is it. And of course, earlier on, he had stopped the appointment of one young man as chairman of FEMA.
Yes.
We wish he would continue to do that. To the viewer at home, in the last 45 minutes, we have been looking at Nigeria in the last 6 months. The president will be 6 months in office in 2 days' time. And here in the studio, Honorable ADELAKUN, a politician, former parliamentarian, a financial expert, and a publisher, has been with me in a rather conversational manner discussing the last 6 months that the brooms have changed, or rather the tide, the old order has given way to the new. And it is often said that the new brooms sweep cleaner.
But the old ones know the corner.
It is too early for us to determine whether the new brooms are sweeping very, very clean. But
the old ones know the corners.
Yes. Honorable ADEOYE, I'd like to appreciate you for coming. Thank you very much for being here with us. The viewer at home, this is where we'll draw the curtains on today's edition of our flagship production, Pertinent Questions. I hope the questions have been pertinent enough. We cannot sufficiently run it. I am your anchor. I call myself the alternate anchor because next week, Femi Adefila will come your way. ADETOYESE SHITTU ALAMU is my name. I'll see you in another 2 weeks' time. Too long. Thank you very much.
Can you imagine